Okay, so I've been thinking. If Harry and Meghan leaving England is like supposed to be the next Brexit, would that be Hexit or Megxit?
You know, I hadn't really thought of that.
Hey guys, we're rolling.
Hi, and welcome to your Win of the Week. I'm Allie Taylor.
And your co-host, DeAndre Crump.
Now this, DeAndre, will be our 6th episode, and we have seen a lot of wins. Where does this one fall for you?
You know, Allie, I don't really want to toot my own flute, but this win had everything. It was a long, grinding, grueling performance, and the team stuck it out in the face of losing all hope.
I felt the exact same way sitting through the last episode of Star Wars.
Exactly. Let's roll the clip.
Farm Credit Bank of Texas, they offer loans and banking solutions to a lot of agricultural customers out there. We got engaged through a AVP, so working with our Cisco counterparts on seeding an AVP. The biggest challenges that FCBT was facing at the time was they were launching a brand new platform called FarmView.
So some of FCBT's biggest challenges were moving their primary loan origination software to a new platform. They actually had a legacy platform that had been in place for decades. And they had a pilot rolled out for a new platform.
And they had well over 700 clients that they were going to engage in the month of May coming up of this year, fiscal FY20. So they wanted to start with their 5 smallest customers that they had and work through some of the kinks and issues that come up with that.
Realized they were having so many issues that they needed to have some sort of performance management solution in place before they onboarded any more clients.
Currently they leverage Splunk.
They were 100% reactive. So they couldn't pinpoint an issue until they actually received some sort of notification from an end user. Then they couldn't find out where the issue was. We worked with the CIO. He brought in the DevOps team, the IT operations folks.
We had everyone from a VP of operations to level 1 support in the room. And really the idea there was just to understand where you guys at today, where are you going tomorrow, and how can we help build a solution together to be able to help solve some of those use cases.
And we defined 7 main success criteria that would determine the outcome of the proof of value.
One was just troubleshooting quicker, having less people involved in these war room scenarios and engagements. And so we definitely just sat back and kind of took it all in and understood that before we could actually build a strategy going forward.
We set up the sales process with FCBT by taking advantage of the fact that we had 2 AVPs and essentially treated them as a paid proof of value. We started immediately working towards those success criteria that we had defined with the CIO and his team.
I'd say the one aha moment for us during the engagement of this opportunity was when we were on site and our tech champion was basically challenging some of his counterparts in the room on specifics around, hey, we can't get insights into here, or there was a specific database tool that they had leveraged as a team where it was always crashing on them. And he was basically calling out the tool was not the greatest, right? So when you have a champion that's willing to challenge other people in the room and challenge even their VP level person on, hey, this is something that's important to us and this is the reason why, that's the important aha moment that I think really we knew that we had a strong champion that we could leverage and count on.
There were multiple times that we felt as if the deal was in jeopardy. The first thing was when the CIO passed ownership of the evaluation of AppD to a vice president of production who was hostile towards AppD, wanted to go with Microsoft, didn't want to hear anything about us, and actually put our proof of value on pause until Microsoft came in and could not meet the success criteria that we had determined were of the utmost importance to the company. Then we were actually on site in the process of having the initial GVT discussions, and the CIO, who was our initial champion that brought us in, stepped down while we were on site. So at that point in time, we thought that the deal was completely in jeopardy, and we really had to fall back on all the champions that we had built outside of the CIO over the course of that engagement to not only promote us to the new CIO, but to continue the charge. The way that we overcame the competitive situation is that we kept going back to the 7 success criteria that were defined and agreed upon by the CIO and his team initially when we started out, and worked with competitive intel internally to essentially show the gaps in the other solutions and where we would shine.
We did not take our foot off the pedal. We knew that we had Q2, so the week before the end of our quarter, we knew that we had to show an aggressive pricing. We knew that we had to show results, and we basically had to have our champions just talk about the solution itself and the issues that it was able to solve for Farm Credit Bank of Texas, and just show that to the CIO, because the CIO hadn't had a whole lot of engagement, nor did the VP of app development either with the tool. So that's really where it comes down to, is getting this deal across.
The turning moment for us is when the new CIO, who was introduced midstream, was questioning us, and we had ironclad GVT statistics to fall back on. You could see that he sat back in his chair, relaxed, digested the numbers, agreed that they were probably conservative, if anything, and there was one question that he asked us, and he said, "How do you put a number on reputation?" And we said, "You can't." And he pretty much sold himself with that question.
So my key takeaways as an SE were expect the unexpected. This deal could have gone multiple different ways, but the one consistent part about this deal is just building up those champions.
We built a ton of champions since day one, and we had what I like to call a super champion on our side. A guy who used to work at another AppD client, who loved AppD, who evangelized us to the hilt. And we probably wouldn't have gotten the deal done without him. This deal took us 9 months to bring in, and it could have died on the vine numerous times. But our team stayed engaged, we didn't take no for an answer, and even when we bowed out gracefully at the request of the client, we left behind a trail of breadcrumbs that would lead them back to us. We essentially showed that AppD was the only solution that could be a good fit for them.
Well, that really took us to a galaxy far, far away. What a great way to end our show, everybody. My name's Allie Taylor, and this has been your Win of the Week.
I'm your co-host, DeAndre Crump. You stay classy, San Francisco.
Wait, how's that?
I have spoken.